Welcome to the Man of Recaps. This is WandaVision. It starts with Wanda Maximoff and Vision living the happy suburban life inside a 1950s television show. It's classic boss coming over for dinner shenanigans, and Wanda's got to use her Bewitched-style powers to cook a big dinner. Luckily, her neighbor Agnes is there to help, always comes over at just the right moment. But occasionally there are super surreal, creepy, weird moments as whatever reality this is starts to break down. What reality is this? What's happening? That's the big mystery of the whole show. In episode 2, we're in the 60s, a direct reference to Bewitched. The plot of the sitcom episode is Wanda and Vision doing a magic act as part of the talent show to fit in with the neighborhood, but weird things happen, like Wanda finds a toy helicopter that's in color, and then a radio starts tripping out, someone's voice is coming through, trying to reach Wanda. What's happening? Oh, it's so surreal! And at the end of the episode, whoa, Wanda's suddenly pregnant, congrats. But just then, outside, someone's coming up out of the sewer grate, a guy in a beekeeper suit. But Wanda just says no, and oh, the whole thing rewinds, they're back inside. Is Wanda controlling this place? Then everything goes to Technicolor, because next episode, it's the 70s. All these episode intros, by the way, are hilarious homages to the TV shows of the era. It's just great. This episode, they're dealing with Wanda's unexpected and accelerated pregnancy. More surreal things keep happening though, and Vision's starting to notice. He eventually brings up his suspicions to Wanda, but oh, it just cuts right back. That part edited out. But pretty soon the baby's coming, and Wanda gives birth to not one, but 2 twin boys. Yes, twins run in her family. Remember, her twin brother Pietro, Quicksilver, was killed by Ultron. Just then, Geraldine mentions that, the first reference to the real world. In fact, her necklace is the S.W.O.R.D logo that was on the beekeeper and the helicopter. At the edge of town, the aspect ratio changes to the real world, and oh, boom, Geraldine's blown out of there. There's a whole operation going on. What is happening? The next episode starts not in an old sitcom, but in the real world, as the actress who played Geraldine is coming back from the snap. Yes, in Spider-Man Far From Home, the blip was played for laughs. But here we get a glimpse of the chaos and confusion as half the population suddenly comes back 5 years later. Turns out this woman is an agent of S.W.O.R.D. Yes, much like S.H.I.E.L.D, they went out of their way to make their name a cool acronym. And turns out she is Monica Rambeau, yes, daughter of Maria Rambeau from Captain Marvel. And tragically, she finds out her mom died during the 5 years Monica was snapped away. Now, apparently S.W.O.R.D does a lot of space stuff, and Monica Rambeau was one of their star astronauts. But after the blip, they've got to monitor her more. She's grounded for now. So she's sent on a minor mission with the FBI, where she meets Agent Jimmy Woo from Ant-Man, who's perfected his online magic university skills. They're at the town of Westview, New Jersey, which is where Wanda's sitcom is taking place. When Monica tries to go into it, there's some invisible barrier, and whoa, she's sucked in. So now they're bringing in a whole operation, including Darcy from Thor. Oh, I did not think she'd ever be back. Apparently, she finished her internship and is a full-blown scientist now. In fact, it's her who recognizes the signals coming out of this place are old-school television waves. She puts on WandaVision. They're watching it. So we finally get some answers to what's going on, and we see where the helicopter, the guy in the beekeeper suit, and the voice on the radio came from. Working theory, Wanda has snapped and is using her powers to take the whole town hostage as she builds a perfect sitcom life for her and Vision.
It's an oversimplification of events, but yes.
They're calling the area inside the Hex because it has 6 sides, but also that's what a witch does. And the Hex isn't an illusion. It physically turns anything that goes inside to fit the sitcom reality. So next episode, as you might imagine, we're in the 80s. And just like Wanda's pregnancy was accelerated, the twins are growing up so fast, they're kids already, Tommy and Billy. Meanwhile, Vision is a pretty smart guy, and he's starting to notice more and more that this reality is not normal. He uses his Mind Stone powers to free this guy from the spell, and it's like, oh, she's in my head, she's controlling all of us, please make her stop. So Vision comes home like, Wanda, what's going on? You gotta stop this. Wanda doesn't want to hear it, so she rolls the credits, but Vision keeps talking over them. They're having an argument while the credits roll. It turns into a big shout out where they're both floating in the air. In the end, Wanda's like, look, I don't even actually know what's happening or how I'm doing it. Now, earlier this episode, their dog Sparky died, and there was talk about if Wanda can bring people back to life in here. I mean, apparently she did it with Vision. And at the end of the episode, the doorbell rings. It is her brother, Pietro, Quicksilver. But not the one from the MCU. It's the actor from the Fox X-Men movies. What? Multiverse shenanigans. We thought we had some idea of what was going on, but who knows? Next episode, it's the early 2000s. It's Malcolm in the Middle time. Pietro has settled right into his role as the wacky uncle, and Wanda's like, I'll just go with it, I guess. And so while the Halloween sitcom plot's going as usual, the Vision's continuing his investigation to find out what's actually happening. Vision finds the edge of the Hex and tries to go through, but outside, it's not letting him. He's like being sucked apart back into it. When Wanda finds out, she shuts down the whole town. Oh, big burst of magic energy. She's expanding the borders of the Hex to get him back in. And not just Vision, she's expanding them by a lot. Oh, sucking the whole S.W.O.R.D base into it, turning it into a carnival. So next episode, in the 2010s, it's Very Modern Family. Wanda's taking a mental health day for herself, gonna stay in bed and relax. Vision finds himself at the circus where he meets up with Darcy and frees her mind. He's trying to get home to Wanda, but sitcom-style shenanigans keep getting in their way. Eventually, he's getting one of the sitcom-style interviews, and it's like, wait, how'd I even get here? Everyone out of my way, I can fly. Now, Monica Rambeau's still outside. In fact, she contacted some friends and had a big tank made that can theoretically go into the Hex. It does not work, though. This magic is incredibly strong, but she's like, look, I'm going in on foot then. Now, after she was first blown out, they saw the magic affect affected her DNA. They're like, yo, you can't go back in there. It's incredibly dangerous. Who knows what'll happen to you? But what happens is she powers her way through, and somehow when she comes out, whoa, she's got glowy eyes. Yeah, she can see things real weird now. It's unclear what her powers are, but she got superpowers. She makes it over to Wanda like, yo, I know you're not a bad guy. Please, you gotta stop this. Nosy neighbor Agnes comes to the rescue, getting Wanda out of there. But there's something definitely wrong in this house, and the basement is really creepy. The aspect ratio changes, and she's got like a gothic castle down here. And Agnes reveals that she has magic too. She's a witch, real name Agatha Harkness. We go through a TV-style montage with the hilariously catchy song as she explains it was Agatha all along.
It's been Agatha all along.
To clarify, the whole hex was not Agatha all along, that was Wanda. But it's crazy powerful magic, Agatha's never seen anything like it, so she came here and played along to try to find out how she did it. Fake Quicksilver was Agatha though, it was just a random guy in the village that Agatha was controlling to mess with Wanda, and they used the actor from the Fox X-Men movies just to mess with us. She does have Wanda's kids captive though, so Wanda tries to blast her, but magic doesn't work here. Agatha's put up magic runes all along the room, and only the witch who casts the runes can cast magic in the area. It's like, wow, Wanda, you don't know anything about magic, do you? Let's go on a trip through your memories to figure out how you did this. We go back to Wanda's childhood in Sokovia, where her happiest memories were watching old American sitcoms with her family. That's why her reality was sitcom style, because nothing bad ever happens in sitcoms. Because of course in her real life, bad stuff happened all the time. Her whole family was blown up when she was a kid. We thought Wanda's powers came from the Mind Stone when Hydra experimented on her, but Agatha's like, no, you were born a witch. Then we get to see what happened with Wanda and the Mind Stone at Hydra. Because of her powers, it reacted to her in some special way. Whoa, what's going on? She sees the silhouette of a future self. We get a scene at Avengers headquarters right after her brother was killed by Ultron, where Vision comes in to console her. Wanda is overcome with grief for her brother, but Vision's got some choice wisdom for her that's gonna be on all the throw pillows from now on.
But what is grief, if not love persevering?
As we know, she and Vision soon fell in love, only for him to be killed by Thanos, another loved one violently taken from her. But before he died, Vision left Wanda a note to go to Westview, New Jersey. She drives to the foundations of a new house and pulls out a note. It was a house that Vision bought for them to grow old in. Oh, it's too much to handle. Wanda loses control and her grief erupts out of her, turning Westview, New Jersey into sitcom land. Somehow she was able to create a new alive Vision in here, and that's how this all started. So now outside, Agatha's got her kids hostage. She's gone full-on witch outfit. She's like, yo, this is chaos magic and only one person can use it. You are the Scarlet Witch. There's no runes to stop her anymore, so Wanda blasts her, but it's like, yo, thanks, I want to absorb your magic. That's my whole thing. Meanwhile, we find out Hayward's dastardly plot. He does still have the Vision's body, and his plan is to bring it back to life, but without a personality, under government control, to be a super weapon. And with the energy from Wanda's hex, he's finally able to do it. The White Vision is here! So he interrupts the witch fight. Wanda's like, Vision, is that you? And he's like, no, I'm here to kill ya. But just then, Wanda's Vision comes in to save her. It's like, hey hun, things are weird. So it's a double Vision fight and a witch fight. Agatha pulls out a creepy looking spell book, The Darkhold. It featured prominently in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4, though we'll see if that's actually canon. And it has a whole chapter on Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, so there's a lot Wanda doesn't know. Agatha frees the minds of the townsfolk around her, and they're like, Wanda, please, you gotta let us go. This is torture. So Wanda goes to take down the hex, but without the hex, Vision and her kids don't exist. So she keeps it up for now, but while it was open, the military got in, and the family strikes an incredible style pose. Yes, her kids, by the way, have superpowers. The one's fast like Quicksilver, and the other's got mental powers. Hayward has no mercy for kids, gonna shoot them, but Monica Rambeau jumps in front, and oh, her new powers somehow stop bullets. Then who's this busting in to smash him with the truck? It's Darcy to save the day. Meanwhile, the Visions take a break from fighting to have a philosophical conversation. It's like, yo, my programming is to kill the Vision, but it's like, hey, how do you define the Vision? Because like, I was just created from chaos magic. Arguably, you're more of the Vision because like, you were built out of his body. Wanda's Vision is able to unlock White Vision's memories, and it's like, oh, no, I'm the Vision. He's got to think about this for a while, so he pieces out for now. Meanwhile, the witch fight has escalated to crazy levels, flying around, shooting magic at each other. Wanda's being kind of dumb because every time she hits Agatha, she just absorbs it. And in fact, Wanda's missing with like most of her shots. But turns out she wasn't missing. She was hitting the walls of the hex to create runes. Wow, what a fast learner. So now Agatha without powers, Wanda's able to suck all of her energy back in, and it blasts her into a new outfit. It's her true form, the Scarlet Witch. Wanda uses her mind manipulating powers to create a mental prison for Agatha as she turns her into her character, the nosy neighbor Agnes. So Wanda goes home with her family as she starts attracting the hex. It's a tearful farewell with her kids, who even though they weren't real, were real. And then it's an even more heart-wrenching farewell with Vision as she has to say goodbye. And so they hold each other as the hex ends and this Vision is erased. So now back in the real world, Wanda's like, hey, sorry for all this. I'm gonna fly off and come to terms with my grief and figure out what my new powers are. In the mid-credit scene, Monica gets a visit from a Skrull. Yeah, remember Captain Marvel? It's like, hey girl, long time no see. We want to talk to you. Come on up to space with me. Then in the after-credit scene, it's a beautiful cabin in the wilderness where Wanda's just hanging hanging out. But while she's living, she's Doctor Strange astral projecting, studying magic, learning the Darkhold. And at the end, she hears a voice calling out to her. It's her sons. Where's this going? What's gonna happen? That's where WandaVision comes to an end. If you like this recap, hit that subscribe button for more of the best recaps of TV and movies. And if you love this recap, check out the join button and support the channel as a member.